This was my bot's performance before, and this one after I added the day filter feature. And in today's video, I will show you how you can do the same with your expert advisors as well. So let's get to it. This video will be divided into 3 sections. In the first section, I will show you how to code the day filter feature into your expert advisor. After that, we will discuss how to use the day filter to properly optimize your expert advisor. And then I will go over some common mistakes to avoid when using this feature. Now I will show you how to code the day filter feature into your expert advisor. So the process is fairly simple. The first step is to create a new input group for your day filter settings. You can see that I do it right here. After that, you have to create input boolean variables for each day of the week. You can see that here I only create 5 input boolean variables, and that's because I'm trading Forex, so I don't have to worry about the weekdays. If you were to, for example, trade indices, you would also have to include Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, so just be aware of that. So that's the first step. The second step is to create a simple Boolean function. As you can see, I called or I named this function day filter OK, but you can name it whatever you like. So then I create an object of MQL date time type. So I do that right here. And after that, I use this time GMT function with an argument where I basically input the time object. So now what I can do is that I can access different information or different parameters of the time object. So I can, for example, do something like time, and I can access the current date day of week. So that's a feature that I will be using in the rest of my code. I can also, for example, access day of year. So if I were to do this will return an integer that would basically correspond with the current day of a year. So it would go from 1 to 365. I can also, for example, do hour, minute, month, second, and year. So this comes pretty handy when you are, for example, working with time range breakouts or something like this. This is a very handy feature. So what I do next is that I create this integer day variable, which is equal to the day of week. So now I am accessing the day of week, or the number corresponding to the current day of week, and I'm storing this information inside the day variable. Here I have a list of numbers and to what day they correspond to. So 0 means Sunday, 1 Monday, 2 Tuesday, and so on. Okay, so this is what different day of week numbers represent. So then I just do a few of if-else statements. So the process is the same, the logic is the same, and it's fairly simple. So if trade, for example, first day is equal to false, as you can see here, and the current day is equal to 4, which corresponds to first day, I want to return false. So when this function returns false, it means that the user doesn't want to trade at the current day. If it returns true, it means that everything's okay and that we can proceed with trading. So we do this process for every day of the week. So it's very simple. So for example, for Tuesday, we check. So if trade Tuesday is equal to false, which the user can set in the inputs menu, which is right here, and the current day is equal to 2, which is equal to Tuesday, we will return false, signalizing that we don't want to open any positions. So that's it. That's the function. Very, very simple. So the last step is to take this function and call it in, on, or inside your onTick function. We have to call this function before we open any positions. So in this case, I have this open positions function, which basically takes care of opening positions. So before I call this function, I use the day filter OK function. So here I am saying, so if day filter OK is equal to false, then I won't execute anything below this function. Okay, so I will just return from the onTick function and I won't execute the rest. Meaning, if, for example, today is Thursday and the user doesn't want to trade on Thursday, it won't trade. So that's it. That's how you implement the day filter feature function. Now that we know how to code and add the day filter feature into an expert advisor, we should check out how to use it when optimizing for better performance. So for this, I prepared this day filter EA. So what I've done is that I optimized the day filter EA, and these are the optimization results. The best result is this one. It is not using a day filter, it is not using anything fancy, it's just using a very simple rule for opening positions and static take profit and stop loss. So let's see what will happen when we test this setting. So what we will do is that we will select it and perform single test. So this is how the backtest looks like. We can say that this is not a good EA. Yeah, it's not stable. It's profitable, yeah, so it made some kind of profit, but I think it's safe to say that this is not a stable EA. So now there is one question. Can we improve the performance of the EA by using the day filter or not? So to answer this question, we have to go to the backtest report of this backtest. So we can find it under this backtest tab. So just click on it and you will see something like this. The backtest report basically shows you a different metric of the EA's performance. So here we can, for example, see the profit factor, the recovery factor, the total number of positions. We can also see the win percentage of short trades, long trades, and total trades. We can also see, for example, expected payoff or Sharpe ratio. All of these metrics are very, very interesting, but not for us at the moment. At this moment, what we want to check is this plot right here. So this plot shows us the average profit and average loss, or the absolute profit and absolute loss on every day of the week. So here we can basically see which days are profitable and which days are not profitable. Based on this plot, we can clearly say that the EA is losing money on Wednesdays and on Fridays. So now how we can use this information in combination with the day filter to improve this EA? Well, I think the answer is pretty self-evident. What we will do is that we will go to the inputs of the EA, find the day filter settings group. For me, it's right here. You can ignore the rest. And what we will do is that we will set input trade Wednesday to false, and the same thing for the Friday as well. So now what we will do is that we will say to the EA that we don't want to open any positions on these 2 days. And based on the backtest plot, we should increase the profitability without overfitting the EA. So let's check it. So now I am using the day filter and I will start the second test. And here you can see the performance got better. If we check the backtest report and go here, we can see that we don't have almost any positions on Wednesdays and Fridays because we are not opening any positions on these days. We have some positions on Wednesdays, and that's because we opened a position on Tuesday and we held it overnight. So that's why we have these positions right here. But as you can see, we improved it drastically. So that's it. That's how you use the day filter. Of course, the day filter cannot be used for any EA, or it can be used for any EA, but it doesn't mean that it will improve every EA. For example, if you have a backtest, you go to the backtest report, and for every day the profit is higher than the loss, then there is no reason for using the day filter. But I think that's pretty easy to understand. So yeah, that's how you use the day filter. Also, there is one more thing that you don't want to do. So some people might have an idea to basically optimize for every day of the week. So what I could do is that I could go to genetic optimization, and here in the inputs menu I could just select all of these days, and now the EA would optimize with with the day filter basically active. I would not recommend this for two reasons. So the first reason is that we would be overfitting the EA. Simply said, we would be searching for, well, I don't know how to say it simply, but just don't do it. Yeah, you would overfit the EA, most likely overfit the EA, and that's not a good thing. And the second reason is that it would increase the number of iterations it has to go over in order to optimize this. And it would slow down the optimization quite a bit. So, don't optimize for each of the days. Do it like I showed you. Yeah, so do the first optimization, check the backtest report, go to the profit and losses by weekdays, find the days on which you are losing more than winning, and filter out these days. And then the performance should increase. So yeah, that's how you optimize, or how you use the day filter when optimizing your expert advisor. There is one thing you have to be aware of when calling the day filter function. So at the start of this video, I told you that you have to call the day filter function before you open any positions or place any pending orders. And this is true, you have to do that. But there is one kind of functions that you have to call before you call or before you execute the day filter function. So as you can see, I have added two new functions. The first function I added is the break-even function, and the second function I added is the trailing stop function. So both of these functions are working with open positions, and they are changing their targets. So they are moving their stop loss to some new levels. Yeah, so they are dynamically changing the positions targets. When you have these kinds of functions, you have to make sure to execute them on every tick. Yeah, there can be a delay. You have to execute these kinds of functions on every single tick. So if I were to use the EA with this code, okay, so if I were to be calling day filter function as the first one after the break even, trailing stop, and then open positions, it wouldn't be the correct way. The correct way is to take these two functions and call them before the day filter function. Okay, so by doing this, we make sure that we always execute the functions that are changing the positions targets on every tick, and after that we call the day filter function, and after that we call the position, or we call the function that opens positions. So this is something you have to be aware of, and just make sure that you do it the right way. So yeah, this is it. This is it for this video. I want to thank you for your attention and your time, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye.